The idea of luxury living in America is starting to fall apart. In 2026, the high-end real estate market, once considered untouchable, is declining more rapidly than expected. Expensive homes that used to attract intense bidding are now remaining on the market, often with significant price reductions and concerned sellers. These are not average houses, but upscale properties with features like infinity pools, marble interiors, rooftop spaces, and large garages. This situation is not just a minor slowdown, it signals a serious collapse in the luxury housing sector. Attention is now turning to the cities where luxury home prices are dropping the fastest. The leading city is experiencing a loss in wealth at a rate not seen since the financial crisis of 2008. This decline appears to be just the beginning of a larger shift in the U.S. housing market. Dallas serves as a key example. It was once a major highlight of Texas real estate, especially in prestigious areas such as Highland Park, Preston Hollow, and Turtle Creek. In these neighborhoods, high-end homes frequently sold for millions, sometimes even before being officially listed. However, that strength has now faded. At its peak, the top tier of homes reached a median price of about $1.3 million. Today, those same properties are selling closer to $1.05 million, marking a noticeable drop of around 20% over a relatively short period. Homes valued above $3 million are also seeing regular price cuts, often ranging from $500,000 to a full $1 million. The main causes of the decline are an oversupply of properties and rising costs of ownership. During the pandemic, there was a surge in construction, with developers adding many large homes and luxury condos. As a result, the number of available properties has grown significantly, far exceeding what is considered a balanced market. Homes that once sold quickly are now sitting unsold for long periods. High property taxes add to the burden. In Dallas County, taxes can reach about 2.2%, meaning a $2 million home may cost roughly $45,000 per year in taxes alone. Insurance costs have also increased sharply due to risks like severe weather, often exceeding $12,000 annually. Combined, these expenses make ownership very costly, even for affluent buyers. Investors are facing challenges too. Rental income from luxury properties typically falls short of covering ownership expenses, leading many investors to leave the market, often at a loss. Another concerning trend is the increase in foreclosures among high-end homes, which used to be rare. Filings have risen compared to the previous year, signaling growing financial strain in this segment. While Dallas still appears prosperous on the surface, underlying weaknesses are becoming more evident. For buyers, luxury real estate no longer feels like the safe investment it once was. The city now stands as a clear example of how quickly a thriving market can turn downward. Ranked ninth is Miami, a city long recognized as a top destination for luxury living in the United States. Known for its stunning penthouses overlooking Biscayne Bay, expansive waterfront homes in Coral Gables, and modern high-rise buildings along Brickell Avenue, Miami once symbolized upscale lifestyle at its finest. However, by 2026, its luxury real estate sector is facing its most significant decline since the financial crisis of 2008. Between 2020 and 2022, Miami attracted a surge of wealthy buyers from across the globe. High-income individuals from New York sought relief from heavy taxes. Californians moved in search of better weather, and international investors from countries such as Brazil, Argentina, and Russia injected large sums into the condo market. This wave of demand pushed property values sharply upward. For example, a high-end condo in Brickell that sold for $1.5 million in 2019 was resold for $2.4 million just a few years later. Similarly, waterfront estates in Miami Beach experienced dramatic appreciation, with prices doubling within a relatively short period. But this rapid growth has now reversed direction. Luxury condo prices in Miami have dropped by nearly 22% from their peak. Properties that once attracted aggressive bidding are now sitting unsold at significantly lower prices. Waterfront homes initially listed at $5 million are reducing their prices by up to $1 million, yet still struggling to find buyers even after extended time on the market. The main reasons behind this downturn are oversupply and rising ownership expenses. A construction boom added more than 20,000 new luxury condo units to the market, leaving supply far ahead of demand. At the same time, the cost of maintaining property has increased sharply. Florida's insurance crisis has driven premiums much higher, with waterfront homes now costing tens of thousands annually to insure. In addition, homeowners association fees in luxury buildings have risen significantly, adding another financial burden. Investors are also stepping back. Short-term rental income, once a major attraction through platforms like Airbnb, has weakened due to lower occupancy rates and declining nightly prices. Meanwhile, international buyers are becoming more cautious due to higher U.S. interest rates and global economic uncertainty. As a result, the market is showing clear signs of stress, with partially empty buildings and more sellers lowering their expectations. What was once seen as the ideal luxury lifestyle in Miami, defined by ocean views and vibrant city living, is now facing the consequences of excessive growth. Coming in at number 8 is Scottsdale, a city once known as a top desert destination for luxury living. It attracted affluent buyers with its private golf communities, large desert estates, and upscale condos near Camelback Mountain, features that became symbols of wealth in Arizona. However, by 2026, this once steady luxury market is declining quickly, much like something fragile being swept away. Prices in the high-end segment peaked around 2022, when the median reached about $1.2 million. Since then, values have dropped to around $975,000, marking a decline of roughly 19%. Homes priced above $3 million are also seeing frequent price cuts, often around $500,000. Many of these properties are staying on the market for long periods without finding buyers. The main reason for this downturn is an oversupply of homes combined with fewer interested buyers. From 2018 to 2022, developers heavily invested in building luxury properties, especially in golf-centered communities. Now, there are far more homes available than the market can absorb. Inventory levels have risen significantly, with a large number of unsold homes in the million-dollar range. Properties that once sold quickly are now taking much longer, and some fail to sell altogether. At the same time, the cost of owning these homes has increased sharply. Although property taxes are relatively lower compared to states like California, insurance costs have risen due to higher risks of wildfires and flooding. Annual premiums have more than doubled, adding a heavy financial burden. Higher mortgage rates have also made a big impact, significantly increasing monthly payments on expensive homes. The rental market is no longer as profitable as it once was. Luxury vacation rentals are now oversupplied, leading to lower occupancy rates and reduced nightly prices. As a result, many investors who once depended on short-term rental income are now exiting the market, often selling at a loss. Foreclosures are starting to appear too, particularly in areas like North Scottsdale, where buyers who stretch their budgets are now facing financial pressure. Overall, Scottsdale's image as a luxury desert retreat is fading. The market is becoming much tougher, and sustaining that high-end lifestyle is proving increasingly difficult. Coming in at number 7 is Los Angeles, a city that has long been a cornerstone of America's luxury real estate market. For decades, it has defined high-end living, from the famous estates of Beverly Hills to the breathtaking oceanfront homes in Malibu, symbolizing ultimate wealth and success. By 2026, however, that image is beginning to fall apart. Properties that once represented dream living are increasingly becoming financial challenges for their owners. At its peak, the median price for luxury homes in Los Angeles County reached about $3.2 million, but it has since dropped to around $2.55 million, marking a decline of roughly 21%. In the ultra-luxury segment, homes valued above $10 million are facing even steeper price cuts, often reduced by several million dollars just to attract buyers. This shift is being driven by multiple factors. Years of heavy construction have created an oversupply of high-end homes, while rising property taxes and California's high cost of living are discouraging potential buyers. With mortgage rates exceeding 7%, owning estates priced between $15 million and $20 million now involves extremely high monthly expenses. Insurance costs are also adding pressure, especially in wildfire-prone areas like Malibu, where annual premiums can surpass $100,000. Additionally, HOA fees in exclusive hillside communities have increased significantly, in some cases doubling over time. The slowdown in the entertainment industry is another contributing factor. Job losses and reduced earnings in Hollywood have decreased the number of wealthy local buyers. At the same time, international investors, once a major source of demand, are becoming less active in the market. The rental market offers little relief. High-end rental prices have stopped growing, and stricter regulations on short-term rentals are making it harder for investors to earn income through platforms like Airbnb. Foreclosures, once extremely rare in this segment, are now beginning to appear in areas such as Beverly Hills and Calabasas, with some owners losing multi-million-dollar properties after overextending financially. Neighborhoods that once displayed luxury and prosperity are now seeing more price reductions. The long-standing perception of Los Angeles as a place of endless wealth is weakening, showing that even a market tied closely to Hollywood cannot avoid a downturn. At number 6 is San Francisco, a city that once represented the height of wealth on the West Coast. It was a place where tech executives and venture capitalists competed intensely for luxury homes in areas like Pacific Heights, along with premium condos in the downtown district. By 2026, however, that dominance is fading, and the high-end housing market is clearly in decline. At its peak, luxury home prices reached around $3.5 million, but they have since dropped to approximately $2.75 million, a decrease of about 22%. Downtown condos have suffered even larger losses, with values falling by nearly 30%. Several factors are behind this shift. Layoffs across the tech industry have reduced the number of wealthy buyers, while the rise of remote work has made downtown living less attractive. In addition, concerns about crime and homelessness have made potential buyers more cautious. Property taxes on multi-million-dollar homes are substantial, and earthquake insurance adds another significant yearly expense. At the same time, inventory continues to grow, leaving many luxury condos unsold for long periods. Developers are trying to attract buyers by offering incentives, such as paying HOA fees, including premium upgrades, or even adding luxury perks. Despite these efforts, demand remains weak, and investors are stepping back as rental demand declines and prices drop. Foreclosures are now starting to appear in high-end neighborhoods, as some homeowners who purchased during the boom struggle with falling property values. San Francisco, once considered an untouchable luxury market, is now showing how quickly conditions can change, especially when a housing market relies heavily on a single industry like technology. At number 5 is Aspen, a location long associated with extreme exclusivity and wealth. Known for its luxury ski chalets, private mountain estates, and high-end condos, Aspen has traditionally been one of the most prestigious real estate markets in the country. However, by 2026, even this elite market is facing a noticeable downturn. Property values have fallen by nearly 18% from their peak. Homes that once sold for around $12 million are now being relisted at significantly lower prices, while high-end condos have also seen substantial declines. The main reason for this drop is weakening demand. Higher mortgage rates have made even wealthy buyers more cautious, reducing the number of active purchasers. At the same time, fewer billionaire buyers are entering the market, with many shifting their investments to other global locations. Ownership costs have also increased sharply. Expenses such as property taxes, insurance related to wildfire risks, and HOA fees in luxury ski communities are adding significant financial pressure. In addition, stricter rules on short-term rentals have reduced profitability for investors. Income from platforms like Airbnb, which once helped justify high property prices, has dropped considerably. As a result, properties are remaining on the market much longer, often without selling. Foreclosures, while still not widespread, are becoming more common as some buyers struggle to keep up with costs. The idea that Aspen is immune to economic downturns is now being challenged. This situation highlights a broader truth. Even the most exclusive real estate markets can decline when financial conditions no longer support them. At number 4 are the Hamptons, once considered the premier summer retreat for New York City's wealthy elite. By 2026, however, that reputation is beginning to weaken as the luxury housing market shows clear signs of decline. Home prices in the area previously reached a median of about $3.2 million, but have since fallen to roughly $2.6 million, representing an 18% drop. In the ultra-luxury segment, beachfront properties that were once listed at $20 million are now cutting prices by several million dollars just to attract buyers. This downturn is mainly driven by an oversupply of homes along with sharply rising ownership costs. During the pandemic, a surge of new construction took place as city buyers rushed to purchase second homes. Now, there are far more properties available than demand can support, leaving many homes unsold for extended periods. Maintaining these estates has also become extremely expensive. Property taxes on high-value homes can reach well into 6 figures annually, while insurance costs have surged due to risks like hurricanes and flooding. When additional expenses such as staffing and maintenance are included, total yearly costs can climb into the hundreds of thousands. The rental market is no longer providing strong returns either. Short-term rental demand has weakened, and increased competition has driven down rates. Investors who once relied on tourism-driven earnings are now selling, often at a loss. Foreclosures are becoming more common even in upscale neighborhoods. The image of Las Vegas as a place of constant growth and luxury is now fading, revealing a market that is now struggling. What was once a symbol of glamour and opportunity is now facing a tougher reality, where profits are harder to achieve and losses are becoming more frequent. At number 2 is San Diego, a city once regarded as a quieter competitor to Los Angeles in the world of luxury real estate. Known for its oceanfront estates in La Jolla, dramatic cliffside homes in Del Mar, and upscale waterfront condos, it long represented a stable and desirable high-end market. By 2026, however, that stability has started to break down. Luxury home prices, which once peaked around $2.4 million, have dropped to approximately $1.95 million, marking a notable decline. Properties in the ultra-luxury range are facing even greater challenges. Homes priced above $8 million are seeing major price cuts, often in the millions, yet still struggle to find buyers. The reasons behind this shift are largely tied to rising expenses and an oversupply of properties. Owning high-end real estate has become significantly more costly, with property taxes and insurance alone reaching substantial annual amounts. At the same time, higher mortgage rates have driven monthly payments much higher than they were just a few years ago. Meanwhile, more homes are entering the market, leaving many sitting unsold for extended periods. Sellers are increasingly offering incentives and lowering prices, but buyer interest remains limited. Rental properties are also underperforming. Vacation rentals are seeing reduced occupancy, and the income they generate is no longer enough to offset ownership costs. As a result, financial strain is beginning to show. Even in some of San Diego's most exclusive neighborhoods, foreclosures are starting to appear as homeowners struggle with declining values and rising expenses. What was once considered a dependable luxury market is now under pressure, weighed down by high costs, too much inventory, and fewer qualified buyers. At number 1 is New York City, historically viewed as the ultimate center of luxury real estate. From prestigious penthouses overlooking Central Park to classic townhouses and modern high-rise developments, the city has long symbolized wealth and global demand. By 2026, however, that image is being challenged by a sharp downturn. High-end property values have fallen significantly from their peak, with many luxury homes losing a substantial portion of their value. In the ultra-luxury segment, price reductions have become dramatic. Properties that once commanded tens of millions of dollars are now being discounted heavily, yet many still fail to sell. This decline is driven by a combination of oversupply and rising costs. Years of aggressive development have left the market saturated with luxury units, while ownership expenses, including taxes, fees, insurance, and financing, have climbed to extremely high levels. At the same time, demand has weakened. Economic shifts have reduced income at the top end. International buyers are less active, and remote work has made living in the city less essential for many. As inventory builds, many luxury units remain vacant. Rental markets are also softening, with lower rents and higher vacancy rates reducing returns for investors. This has led to an increase in distressed sales, with some owners selling at losses and even foreclosures beginning to surface, something once considered highly unlikely in this market. The city's skyline, once a symbol of unstoppable growth, now reflects a changing reality with underoccupied luxury towers. This is not just a routine market adjustment, but a deeper shift affecting high-end real estate across the country. Markets once thought to be untouchable are now experiencing falling prices, rising financial pressure, and declining demand. What makes this moment particularly significant is that the impact is reaching the very top of the market. If even the most prestigious real estate sectors are vulnerable, it raises serious questions about the future of luxury housing.